All right. What's going on, everybody? We're live today. I'm gonna try to keep my voice a little bit today. My throat is really giving me a hard time. Um, and Also got several family. So myself and my family members are sick. Um, so hopefully the music doesn't end up being too loud. Um, but yeah, guys. Market's kind of ripping right now. I'm gonna first get some tea in me. That should help my voice. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into the charts today. Market's kind of ripping right now. So let's go ahead and pull it up. I did some after hours trading. Made about $2,000 in the overnight session on the sim side. On the evaluation side, though, I tried to do the same thing. Didn't really down 565, and the trailing max is like right at the limit. Near the highs of the day, which is 4080. But I did really well in the overnight session trading in the sim, but not sure why in the evaluation just didn't perform as well. I don't know. I got filled in some places that I just didn't want to get filled in. But whatever the case was, I just didn't perform as well in the overnight on the evaluation side, but performed great in the sim. Sim, I also took quite a lot of trades. Let's see, 108 divided by 4 contracts is what we're trading. I took 27 trades to get to that $2,000. So it equals out to about $74 in profit per trade. Right now at these highs, I'm going to be looking for a red-yellow swap here. You can see we're bouncing off the 50 EMA, which is looking nice. Music is low. One sec. I'm trying to flip through all these menus. Yeah, of course, like and subscribe. Let's see. Mic is low. Okay. Interesting, because the music is super low on my side. How's that? Let me know if that's a little better. If you could comment on the YouTube side, that'd be helpful. Just because then I don't have to flip menus. And by the way, origin code badass 72 Mach 1. I had a 73 Mustang with a Mach 1 package on it. Was probably one of my more favorite cars. Broke down a lot, unfortunately. So I was constantly like replacing like the starter, but uh, I was like replacing the starter. We did all this work on the engine itself, like hot tanked it, basically did a full engine rebuild, and it ran pretty well for a while. But definitely by far the whole most worst gas mileage I ever got on any vehicle. But I did love it. It was a fun car. Had it for several years, and eventually ended up selling it in order to move cross country. It was a fun car. For those of you guys who don't know, in our Discord group, we talk about a bunch of different stuff, and one of the things that we talk about is cars. Why? Because I love cars. But mainly we're talking about entrepreneurship, trading, futures, stuff like that. dividend investing, or just investing in general. So we've got this bounce off this 50 EMA that I was talking about here, and we're getting kind of a crossover. We do have a red yellow, but it's from 2.0 to 1.8 to 1.7, so it's kind of minimal on there. Like I said, we are up 2,000 in the sim right now, and that's because we did trade some of the overnight session. I couldn't sleep last night, so I figured, hey, what the heck, market's moving. Let's go ahead and do some trading, and we did well on the sim side, not so well on the eval, but that's okay. I'm gonna join the bid here, try to get in off this EMA 35 bounce. It did pull back to the 35, but I'm looking for a push up towards the 26. You can see we're at 1.8 now, 1.7 on the TTM. Down 4 ticks in this trade, down 5. Let's see. This is just a feeler trade. Pulled back down to the 50 EMA. I may have to cut this trade. Yeah, we're gonna cut that trade. See if we pull up like a tick or two. Try and save our P&L. We cut it right there. Loss of 550 on that one. So down to 1450 on the day. It looks like we're going into more of a short type position, but we may get bounces off this 50 EMA. I'm gonna wait. That was really just a feeler trade for the actual trading session here, but I'm gonna wait for a move that's a little bit more sturdy. We did get this nice bounce off the 50. We may get another bounce off 50 EMA as well. We did end this candle with a doji, but we are dropping below the 50, and that gives me a little bit less confidence. Now we do have this red yellow move here off that 50, so this could repeat this and actually move on past it. Like 7 ticks, and I gotta wait until this really confirms a yellow. All right, we're still dealing with sickness there. Trying to keep it as classy as it can. All right, so we are getting that bounce off that 50 there. We'll see what happens here in the next candle or two. Let's check this against the 3-minute chart. I don't know why my charts are pulled out so far. Every time I switch charts, I gotta like move to the right. So I'm gonna have to address that here in a second. Let's see here. 6.9 to 5.5, definitely getting some cooling on the TTM 3, pretty heavy actually. Got a 69 Dodge Dart. That's a badass car. Love that car. I had a 87 CRX. That was probably one of my favorite cars. I literally had it for a flip, and it worked out really nicely. It was several years ago. It was like well over a decade ago, but I really loved it. I feel that 1 tank of gas would last me literal months. No joke. It's crazy. I gotta fix the time frame on this. Time axis is like at 504. Normally I'm at like 255. So on the 5-minute side, we are getting some cooling on the TTM as well. Our current candle is at 13.3. Our previous was at 14.3. Prior to that was at 15.2. We're moving down at about a factor of 1. We're currently down 2 ticks in this trade. And gonna switch over to the 1-minute chart, which is giving us a possible 1226 crossover. You can see that there's a little bit of confirmation on the red to yellow TTM. I'm gonna jump to the evaluation side and join the bid right around here.
Order filled.
Entry off 76.50. Just looking for 2 ticks up on literally one contract. Going very slow on this.
Order filled.
We did get that trade. Now we're down in the evaluation, 544.76 on the day. Trailing max drawdown is really close to that 113. So honestly, we could lose this at any moment. So I'm going to be very, very cautious today, which is why I'm trading one contract. We took heavy losses yesterday with all of the market volatility in both our sim and our evaluation side. And like I said, I traded quite well in the sim side this morning, or I should say in the after hours last night, where we were able to pull up to $2,000 profit. But I didn't trade as well on my evaluation side, and so I'm looking to correct that. We're getting a red to yellow, or sorry, a yellow to cyan switch here on the 1 minute TTM. We got the high up here at 40.80. We're literally testing these highs. Throw this high resistance bar in there. This is looking pretty nice though for the move up, considering that we've got this cyan switch. We've got a fresh 1226 crossover here. You can see the move happening right there on the cross. Pulling back down to 79, 78.5 or so. Might take a move off 78. Got an entry there at 78. Nice entry. It's going for 7 ticks, but I think I'm just gonna cut it right there. Take like 300 in profit. Not bad. It was a very quick trade. Very nice trade. Just that bounce off of 78. I'm gonna test these highs right there at the top. Pulling back off the top now. As you can see, pretty heavy. The way 2 ticks on one contract is only worth $25, and we have 436 in fees, so 2064. Interestingly enough, that 1 tick is worth 25 in 2 contracts, but you've got 872 in fees. So it's actually worth less than doing the 1 contract at 2 ticks, which is kind of funny. Pull back now to 78.25. Getting some volatility in this. You can see that movement kind of happening kind of quickly. Cyan switch looking like 0.1 to 0.5 to 0.8. So we haven't topped 0.1 yet, and you can see we did reject at the highs. We made it 1 tick above it. You can see that made a new high slightly by about 2 ticks actually. Yeah, 2 ticks up off the high. Pulling back now to 77. 77 seems like a reasonable entry point here. Gonna miss that entry on this side. Damn, I was trying to get it in off 77, and it was just too fast for me. Made a quick move there. Now we're up 2,100 on the day. So we made back what we lost, and then some. Coming up again to test the highs. This time with more momentum, going from 1.1 to 1.7, which is pretty nice in the terms of momentum. But we did reject yet again off of 40.80, or 40.79.75, close to 80. So definitely a rejection area there. 1.1 to 1.5 on TTM. Definitely got this whole breakout happening here near the highs. I'm gonna measure this against a 3-minute chart and see if we're getting a cyan switch. Still have not got a cyan switch on the 3-minute chart, if you've noticed. So 5.2 down to 4.5. That was 1 minute ago. almost 2 minutes now. Okay, so 7:47. And we're from 5.2 down to 4.7. Movement of about half a point on the 3-minute chart. So this could get a cyan switch. I would like to see a cyan switch in order to really like continue to push this. I think that would help us push past the highs. But without that cyan switch, I'm a little bit hesitant. You can see we've got these stop signs on the cooling candles on the 3-minute side. Let's jump to the 5-minute side. If you notice on the 5-minute, we actually got a 5200 crossover. I was waiting for this trade a long time ago, earlier last night in the after-hour session, and it was just really like struggling to get it. That I eventually was just like, you know what, I'm going to bed, and finally didn't get it apparently. So you can see we're going from 14.3 to 13.8 down to 13.4. So again, moving about half a point to the downside in the cooling candle depressurization happening on the TTM 3 and 5. The 1 minute though, we're getting a breakout on the TTM. You can see here there's some stack up of momentum. 1.5 to 2.0 to 2.5, and we should have a new 3-minute candle, so I want to check in on that. 3 minutes still cooling. 4.6 down to 3.8. Tea time. May get a pullback now to like 76.5. Just gonna check in with the comments here. Yeah, the moving averages did look pretty stacked. And when typically a lot of times when we see the moving averages, thanks for calling this out, Tiny. When we see the moving averages kind of stack up, first off, a couple of things I look for when I'm looking for these momentum trades. Number one, we've got this 9, 12, 35, and 26 moving averages, these four here. When this blue EMA 35 is above this 26, that's where you see these big, fat momentum moves, okay? So it has to be in that order in order to really see those big momentum moves. When the 26 gets above the 35, that's when we start seeing that depressurization and that leveling off. And that's typically where we start hitting resistance zones like what you're seeing right now. So right now we're in a position of flux. We are coming up and hitting new highs, but there is some flux behind it. You can see on this 3-minute chart, we're still cooling off, even though we're making new highs. So we did make a new high there at 81.25. We have a new 5-minute candle. Let's check that. 5-minute went from 13.5 to 13.5. So there we go. We're getting that leveling off there. 2.5 to 13.3 now. We're getting some gradual leveling off. We'll have to see what happens at 8 o'clock, but it's looking pretty nice. I'm gonna switch to the 3-minute chart since we're about to get a new 3-minute candle. Here we go. We got the 751 candle. We went from 4.6 to 3.9, now down to 3.2. What I was mentioning with the moving averages here is that you can see this 26 is actually diverging pretty heavily from this 35. Now, not always, but a lot of the time, that is indicative of an incoming downward move. Usually a move back down to the 35. This is on the 3-minute chart, and on the 1-minute chart, that's a little bit more apparent in a faster capacity. On the 3-minute chart, though, when you see that divergence continuing to happen, actually you can see that we're leveling off here on the 1 minute chart. When that divergence begins to happen, it typically is communicating to us that we have an incoming downward move on the way. We've got a doji here at the top of this flag. You can see the flag right there. So I can actually kind of highlight it for you. It's pretty much like straight across here. And then you can see right there. Kind of like that wedge. So you can see we've got this kind of downward cross, or not downward cross, excuse me. We've got this flag on the play here. So we may get some pullbacks in the meantime. And we may potentially get another little rip, a little test of 80 there. We pulled back now to like 70 something. And if you guys know my philosophy on flags do not mean upward or downward. I don't believe in bull flags. I don't believe in bear flags. What a flag means and what it communicates to me is that we're about to move to some direction. So this one is a little bit of a move to the downside. It's definitely not in bearish territory, not at all. But it is pulling back pretty reasonably off of 80 down to the 70s, like mid 70s. And we can see cooling from 3.1 to 2.9 to 2.6, now 2.5. And if we jump on the 3 minute, excuse me, I went to the 5 and then the 1. But if we look at the 3 minute, you can see that this cooling's been happening for a while. But also that divergence that we talked about, where it's communicating to us a potential incoming downward move. You can see that that downward move is, kind of there, but not necessarily. We may actually see a blue to red, and that would indicate the full-on downward move, along with the 26 crossing above. Right now, the 9 is still above the 12, so we could have more push here, but it's just not something that is necessarily reliable. Versus like when it was back here, it was a lot more reliable to see that move go up. Just gonna get that off there. By the way, guys, if y'all chilling, y'all hanging out, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. We are looking to grow this community here, and I would love to have you guys be a part of it. It really does help a lot when more people like, when more people subscribe. It does show our content to more people, allowing the community to grow. It does seem sideways. I totally agree with you, Tiny. I think at some point soon we may get a fall over and a pullback down. But yes, guys, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. It really does genuinely help the channel grow pretty substantially, more than you guys might think. And so I would really appreciate if you guys could throw a like and sub our way. There's that pullback now, moving towards 76.50. You can see here and here, so we have resistance here and support right here, kind of along the same level, 76.50, 76.25 area. Moving from 3.0 to 2.1 on the TTM. I'm not 100% opposed to a short right here. You could see a red, yellow 3 here. Next 3 minute candle is going to be at 57. I said red to yellow, but what I meant to say was blue to red. We are popping up again to 78. 79 area. 3.0 to 2.3. Taking a short off 78.75, and I'm looking to get out at here. Actually, there we go. We did get that short. I think we we made 150 off that. We're on the TTM3 right now. New TTM3 went from 2.26 to 1.6. It's a pretty reasonable amount of downward pressure coming in. Still not ready to take that as a short in my evaluation yet, but I am leaning towards the short side now. I think I'm on I have too large of a bracket here. I'm gonna put it at like 4. I had it at 7. Okay, so we did get that. Now up 24.50 on the day. That short is looking pretty short here. We may get a bounce here off 50 EMA for a second, but unless this switches back to cyan on the TTM3, I'm likely going to become more short biased in the near term. This 26 is right here at 75, and the 12 is here at 76.50. They're about 6 ticks apart on the TTM3. Our next 3-minute candle and 5-minute candle is going to be at 8 o'clock, which is in about a minute 20. Jump into a 5-minute chart. We can see the cooling now from 13.5 to 13.1 to now 12.0. That's a pretty big drop from 750 to 755, from 13.1 to 12. That's a drop of a full momentum point on the TTM, which means that potentially at 8 o'clock we may get a fall down here. I'm going to grab some water so that I can keep on talking. But you know what? I have a little bit of tea left, so we'll wait till this is done, then we'll grab it. About 30 seconds to the next candle here. Both a 1, a 3, and a 5. 20 seconds. 13.1 now to 12.3. I'm gonna switch to the 3-minute side because I actually think this is gonna be one of the ones that's most valuable to figure out which direction we're gonna go at 8 o'clock. So here's 8 o'clock. We went from 2.26 to 1.8 to 1.5. We are coming up to test these highs here. We see that pop up right there at 40.80. We may get a rejection off of that. And we do have this flag here, and that flag is playing out. New highs up here at 80.75. Actually, I think we hit 81. Yeah, we did hit 81 on this previous tick here at like 742. So we came up, we hit 80, we rejected off of that. Now we're back down at 79. And we're still getting cooling on the TTM, 1.8 down to 1.4. But you can see that the TTM is leveling off. And when I talk about that leveling off, one of the things that I did mention earlier about 10 minutes ago is that on the 3-minute, we'd have to see a cyan switch from this dark blue in order to see this movement continue upward. We haven't got that yet, but we are seeing that continuation upward in that test of that high. But likely, if it continues, we'll get that cyan switch and another opportunity for even higher highs. If we don't get that cyan switch and we get an actual red candle, we'll likely see a pullback through the 26 and potentially even down to the 35, which would be down to 40.70. We are coming up to test the highs. Looks like we're making new highs. We are. As you can see on the 1-minute chart, we switched over to cyan, and that's looking nice. Gonna check this momentum level here. Our next 3-minute candle is going to be at 8:03, and we're at 0.7 to 0.7. I'm going to check the 5, and then I've got to mute out for just a moment. I'm going to mute out now. All right, y'all. So we are continuing to push highs up at 81.25 now. You can see we're still cooling on the TTM 5, but it's less. Went from 12.5 to 11.9. We're at 8:02. 10 seconds to a new 3-minute candle. So let's make sure we're watching that. We're watching that when it comes in. 1.8 to 1.7. Completely leveling off now, and now we're getting a cyan candle on the TTM3, 1.7 to 1.7. Not big momentum yet, but I'm gonna look at taking a long here off of 82 for a move up to 83 in the sim. Having a hard time with this chart here. There we go. Incoming buy pressure there at 82 to push towards the high. We did get that trade. That was another 200 in our pocket, which was 4 ticks on 4 contracts, worth $200. Pushing up to 84 now. It's a nice push. You can see here on the TTM3 why this matters. Why I spent the time to watch the 3-minute chart, and why I spent the time to wait for that cyan switch on the TTM3. This was exactly why, because we could see a potential pressure building for a momentum move, either down to the downside or up to the upside. So that's why I was saying that we need to get that cyan switch on the 3-minute and not the 1-minute. Although this has obviously been trending on the 1-minute. The 1-minute tells us first which you can see right here, but the 3-minute gives us a more solid piece of information to really understand which direction we're beginning to trend. Now on the TTM1, we went from 0.9 to 1.6 to now 1.9. So you can see we went from 0.6 to 1.6. Sorry, 0.7. Let's just look at it again. 0.9 to 1.6, so a movement of 0.7. That's why I said 1.7. Off to a movement of just 0.2, and then another movement now of 0.3. So you can see that the movement is kind of leveling off yet again. So we may get more potential for a pullback here. Even though we're at these highs, we did come up, make our new high be about 85 or 86. Looks like 85.5 is where we ended. So now we may get some moves inbound that kind of look a little bit more like this section here, like right in here. So we may get some movement where the chart pattern looks similar to that, just at these slightly elevated levels. So now we'd want to see 80 active support. I think 80 is a very important level that needs to act as support in order for this move to continue to consolidate and then push up higher. If we dip below 80, then there is more potential, more probability of a fall off. You can see we bounce really well there at that 50 EMA. This is one of the reasons why I love the 50 EMA, is how consistently it acts as support, and to a lesser extent how consistently it acts as resistance. It's just kind of a way to like have your support and resistance levels constantly update automatically for you by just utilizing moving averages. It's really helpful. Pulling back now to 80 and 3/4 on this. Let's see, we went from 2.0 to 1.9. Micro pullback really. pulled off of 84, went down about 12 ticks or so to 81-ish. We've got 3 red candles in a row, kind of leveling off in this 9 EMA here. Went from 1.9 to 1.8 on the TTM cooling candle, TTM 1. Switching back to the 3 minute because I really want to see how this ended up. You can see we got that 1 cyan candle from 1.7 to 1.7 and then dropping down to 1.4. So with that in mind, I may be looking to go short, potentially down to like the 26 here. Is that 76? Got a short entry there at 78.75. Trying to get out at, I'm gonna try to get out at 78. Let's see if we push down that far. Which would only be 3 ticks, wouldn't be overly zealous. Switching to the 1 minute chart just to make it a little bit easier to see how this move is shaping up. Currently kind of holding support at the EMA 35, and frankly I think that I should have been paid a little bit more attention to the EMA 35, even though we broke through it. The reason being is because a lot of times that does act as support. This time it failed, and it looked like it was honestly going to fail, but a lot of times that happens as support, and which is one of the reasons why, if I really think about it, typically I wouldn't actually enter there. So I based off of price levels, and it did end up working out. Pulled back down to the 50 EMA, which we may get another bounce off of. It does look like we're going to fall below it based off the movement on the TTM, and the 9 is fast approaching the 12. And if the 9 crosses below the 12, high likelihood that we're going to get continued pull down on this. TTM 3 time is at 8:09, so we should have a new 3 minute candle, which you can see is continuing to level off now. 1.1 down to 0.6. I'm going to switch this over to 12 ticks, and I am going to look at potentially going to the downside off of 78. I think I may have been a little overzealous with my entry point, but I do think that this is going to fall down. I'm going to switch over to the evaluation side, and I'm going to look at a potential entry here for, let's try for 4 ticks, and looking to join the ask here off the 50. Got the entry at 77.25, and I'm looking for a dip down to 76.25. I don't want to see this pop. I want to see this drop. We may have to cut this quick. I hope not. It's a little too much buyer love here.
Order filled.
Trade there for a micro profit. Made like 25 bucks, like 2 ticks. We're very slowly grinding this account back up after kind of destroying it over the last 2 days. I'm gonna cut this here as well. Take $250 in profit. I'm glad that we got that entry there off 78 instead of the other one where we got like 76 or something, 77.25, and we got out at 76. So we got those 2 ticks. We may get a little pop off this 50 EMA. You can see that happening right now. A lot of conversation today for me, man. I'm talking a lot. Yeah, it honestly kind of does look like a bull trap to me, Tiny. But that's why I've been shorting off of it. Because really just after that kind of movement, the shorts almost look very like clear to me to a degree from the 3 minute TTM move, and that's one thing that's really useful. But also you can see this 26 is getting really close to crossing above this 12. And when that happens on the 3-minute chart, it's typically a pretty powerful move to the downside. And vice versa, when the 12 gets above, it's typically a pretty powerful move to the upside. We are popping up off that 50 EMA, which you can't see here on the 3-minute chart, but you can see it on the one. We did pop up off of that, but you can see TTM is actually switching red. And you can see that it looks like the 9 has crossed below the 12. So this pop-up may not last. We'll find out. Right now, I may need to go grab some water. We're currently at 3,000 profit in the sim on the day, and we're currently negative in the valuation, but we have made some money back. We're down 524 in the eval today. We have a long way to go in order to restore our account and work it back into profitability. But them's the breaks. Let's see. Should have a new. We'll have to check and figure out why my 100K didn't reset. I'll check into that. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go grab some water. There's that drop that we were talking about. It did pull up to 4080 off of the 50 EMA bounce. This is a really common area of support where it'll pop off of this. You're gonna pull back to it and kind of like ride this level before popping. So I may start taking more trades off of 50. I've been watching it now for a few months and slowly building confidence with it. But it's just not. It's not something I've typically practiced for my strategy. So I'm gonna likely incorporate that a little bit more. I'm trying to have as many little like micro strategies as I possibly can because it really does help. 0.4 to 0.5 on the TTM. We may get a red to yellow move and another rip up. It's looking like that is very potential. I'm gonna go grab that water so that I can keep talking. Give me a second. I will be right back. All right, we're back. So we are getting a red yellow move there. Slightly 0.5 to 0.5 to 0.7. 9 crossing back above the 12 slightly on the current candle though. Which makes it a little less trustworthy. And there's that big pullback. Now looking for a bounce off the EMA 35 potential. But TTM moving from 0.5 to 0.9. So beginning to stack up some momentum towards the downside. By the way, guys, if y'all chilling, y'all hanging out, please make sure you like and subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. Like I said, it genuinely does help the community grow much better, much faster than you may think. And it really does make a big difference to YouTube actually showing our content to other people. Also, guys, if you're trying to earn funding in the futures market, make sure you check out Elite Trader Funding. These guys are awesome. They provide amazing customer service. As far as the monthly expense that goes into this in order to actually access up to $300,000, it's one of the least expensive that's out there on the market, but one of the highest quality values that's out there. Personally, I'm working on the 50K evaluation as well as the 100K static evaluation. And you guys can use the link in the description and the promo code JSBest to actually lock in a lifetime discount above and beyond the prices that you see here. So you'll actually get a discount just by putting in that JSBest promo code. Just make sure you click the see more details so that you can understand all the rules and regs that go into actually earning funding. So check them out, guys. Wonderful program, wonderful company. Um, been really happy with them so far, and just overall, just been really happy with their results as a company. And it's just the way that they operate on a consistent basis. And also, guys, too, I don't know if you guys have seen our Discord group yet, but you guys may want to check it out. We do talk about a bunch of really cool stuff. Right now, there's a conversation going on there about cars, and what we do talk about trading, dividend investing, other kinds of investing, whatnot. I'm learning about now something that I've never heard of before, called a strangle trade. I'd never heard of it before. One of our members, Long Haul, mentioned it, and so I started researching it, and it's just like hearing this type of stuff, getting that type of information exposes you to different knowledge that you may not have like right now. So just hearing that vocabulary, it's like, wait, what does that mean? It's new, and so it gives you that opportunity to kind of look it up and just learn new stuff. Currently up 3,000 on the day in the sim. You have this head and shoulders pattern here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but kind of looks like here's shoulder one. This is the head. You may get like a little shoulder here, and then some downward move. I am leaning towards the downside now at this point because we are so bullish on the day, but with the 50 EMA bounce here and the 50 EMA bounce there, how can I put this? I am hesitantly bullish. Does that make sense? Like I'm like 60% bullish and like 40% bearish right now, just where we're at, just because I've had so much sideways action at this high here that it honestly does seem like there is downward pressure, but at the same time, it's getting filled in with buyer pressure too. So it's kind of like this in-betweeny right now. We have this little ABC micro pattern here. Obviously, we have resistance at 80. As you can see, the resistance here, here, and here, plus the previous resistance that we had experienced at 80 as well. We're getting a red to yellow from 2.0 to 1.9. That's not bad in terms of the momentum based off of what we're seeing. I meant to join the bid there, but it was just moving a little too fast for me. Second yellow candle inbound, so 1.8 to 1.6. Gonna join the bid right here. Got the entry off 80 and a quarter, and looking for a push up. I think my sell order is way too high. Just looking for like 2 ticks on that. So we did get that trade. We're up 3,100 now on the day in the sim. 1.8 to 1.5. Yellow TTM 1. Let's check this against a 3-minute chart and see how this is actually shaping up. 3-minute chart's kind of chopping out. You can see we went from blue 0.8 to cyan 0.9, blue 0.8, and cyan 0.8, almost 0.9. And now this one is actually switching to dark blue. The reason why I have that bearish sentiment that I have is because this 26 is riding so close to this 12, and because this CTM is continuing to level downward on the 3-minute chart, even if slightly at a time. 0.8, 0.7 to now 0.5. This is our fresh 3-minute candle here, and it's actually popping on that. That's actually a pretty good pop. So you can see where that bearish sentiment is coming in, but also with all the support that we've been seeing off the EMA 50 on the 1 minute chart, that's where that bullish sentiment is coming into play as well. So I'm really kind of like right in between right now. 1.9 to 1.5 red to yellow TTM switch. See more buyers kind of piling into this. Gonna switch this off to 12 ticks. Switch that to like 3 ticks and go from there. Got an entry at 81.50. I'm looking for a pop to 82.25, but I think, okay, there we go. Up 32.50 on the day. That was a nice trade from 81.50 to 82.25. Now getting some pullback there. 9 is now above 12. Let's zoom in on this. 9 is above 12. It did get above the 26 as well. So we have 9, 12, 26 crossover on this red to yellow from 1.9 to 1.4 to 1.16 to 0.5 or so. After a pullback to the 9 EMA right there off of 79.75. We're getting some little pop up, some little pops there off 79.75. 1.1 to 0.5. This is looking stronger. We are 1 minute away, but actually about 15 seconds away from a new 3-minute candle. Coming up, hitting that resistance level right there. You can see it right there, there, here, and here. Now popping over it. New cyan candle from 1.0 to 1.6 on the TTM3. Join the bid right here. Entered at 82.25, and I'm looking for a push up to 83, but it's actually pulling back some. Switching to the TTM1, and we're just about 30 seconds from a new 5-minute candle. I may have to cut this trade. Currently down $200 in it. Got a cyan switch on the TTM from 0.3 to 0.3, so moving about 0.6. It is pulling back a little bit, but it's kind of dojiing here, and yeah, I don't love this price action. I'm just gonna cut this. I'll take the loss. No big deal. Up 3,100 on the day. It may just pop, but I cut the, like, even with the TTM stacking up here, I cut this basically because we're getting this doji at the top. And a lot of times the doji at the top is actually one of the most indicative indicators that it's going to drop. Same with the doji at the bottom. It's one of the most consistently indicative markers to actually pop upward when the doji's at the bottom. When the doji's at the top, man, it's like a lot of times we get a drop exactly like what we saw. So I'm grateful that it cut it, even though this may pop back up, but I'm still grateful that it cut it. I think it was the right move. I'm so sick of being sick. I'm like, I'm done with it, man. My wife is sick. My son is on the mend finally. But yeah, I was waiting for everybody to be better. We're doing pretty well though in the sim today, trading through this mildly choppy but somewhat predictable price action, which is good. Volume's not bad. Everything's kind of pretty okay right now in terms of the movement of the charts. There's enough happening to be able to take some plays. Definitely scalps, but definitely available for some plays. 0.9 and 1.5 popping up to, so there's that pop up. That's what we originally intended off of this one. Pulling back to 81 and a quarter, now hitting 82. Might look for an entry off of 81 and a half. I don't know if we can go back that far. We're up at 82. You can see we got a green on the cyan switch. So I'm actually just going to join the bid right here. Entered in at 82 and switching over to the evaluation side as well. And just looking for an entry there, but kind of missed it. Yeah, kind of missed the entry. Didn't take it. We did get the straight on this side though. Back up to 32.50 on the day. Those 3 ticks. To 1.5 to 1.9 on the TTM 1 minute chart. 27, so we should have got a new 3-minute candle. And we also need to check the 5. 3-minute candle looking good. 1.0 to 1.6 to 2.2. We do still have stop signs along the TTM 3, but I think it's okay just because we're continuing to stack. 5-minute chart still cooling off though. You can see we went from 8.4 to 7.5 to 6.8. 7.5 to 6.8, moving at 0.7 to the downside. However, we are still pushing upward, especially on the TTM 3 and the 1. And it's the 3-minute really that I look a lot of times for the main trend. Throw a resistance right there, which is right at our top, right around our top here as we went down. And then this also hit there. What is that, about 85? Throw it right at the top of the wick. Actually, I don't want to do that because I think it's more relevant right here, which is right at 84. We are pushing up pretty heavily now. Might go for like 5 ticks and look for an entry off of 84. Tapped our buy order but didn't fill us. Just pushing right past us. Every time I click join the bid, it's moving faster than we are. I don't do market orders just because, like, unless it's like absolutely imperative, I typically won't do a market order. Just because it's like the worst fill on the planet. It's a fat pop up. We have a long way to go to rebuild our evaluation account. Kind of ruined it the last 2 days, unfortunately. Trying to join the bid off at 85. There's a lot of volume here. And I'm looking for a move. I'm going to actually put this move at 85 3/4. A lot of volume off this. 2.6 to 3.0 to now 3.3 on the TTM 1 minute chart. Getting a little pullback now. Join the bid off at 85 in the evaluation side. I have to be super cautious on this. It's going for 4 ticks. I have to be really, really cautious on this. Just because we are really close to these highs. Currently down 1 tick, 2, 3. Just looking for a push up to 86. Should be a new high. 85.50 is the current high. And we are buying into resistance, which I don't like. I honestly should have waited for that full pullback. I'm gonna actually just put this like 1 tick up. Oh, we gotta cut that.
Order filled.
Now we're like super hyper close. We literally cut at the absolute bottom of that candle. It's very frustrating. And now we're getting pushed right back up. We're way, way, way too close to our to failing the evaluation. We're like literally like a single tick away. So like any trade that goes against us. I gotta cut this one. So we did end up pulling back off that pretty heavily off that breakout there. 3 minutes still stacking to the upside. We did have a green dot for a moment. 1.6 to 2.6 to 2.8. Time is now 8:31. Jump to the 5 minute. Honestly, I would rather see this drop down instead of making new highs. I hate trading by the highs. I really dislike it. It's not my favorite way to trade. It's probably my least favorite way to trade, honestly. But you have to play the market that you're in, and I think that can get really frustrating a lot of the time, because a lot of time we're just riding on these, like riding the lows or riding the highs, and it's like really kind of rare that we're actually in between the lows and the highs. Most of the time we're like just at the very tippy top, or at the very like super basement of the bottom. And both those positions suck. Like, to be completely, like, as blunt as I possibly can be, both those positions are terrible, because at the top you get these big like drops, and at the bottom you get big rips to the upside, which is great if you're actually in the trade in the right direction. But a lot of times it's like you'll be at the highs and you'll short it, and then it rips upward even further, and then you're in a bad position at that point. So it can get really frustrating. We're down 615.98 on the day, so we did come back about $100 and gave it up all right here, from 85 down to 83 and a quarter. We got this double top here at 85.50, and we're currently bouncing off at 85. We got this TTM5, which is still cooling down, 7.0 to 6.8, but it's kind of leveling off there. So we may see even more push up to the upside. I'm gonna check this against the 3-minute chart and check our moving averages. So we did actually diverge again from that 26. 3.1 to 3.4 on the TTM3. Maybe a bounce off of like 82.50. I don't know if 82.50 is too low. We got it, 82.50. I'm gonna look to get out at 84, or I guess I got at 83.50. We're back up at 3,100 on the day on the sim side. The eval has a lot of work to go on it. I don't know if we'll continue with it. I may just let it lapse and reset. So just the thing. I am going to check on my other evaluation, though. It's just something that I want to actually check with it. Let's get these charts back up here. I want to do this. So we are falling down some. Thought about joining the ass there. I guess I should have. Trying to check something on my phone. Okay, so we're getting that leveling off from 3.1 to 3.18. So still a little bit of move up, but not much. Dealing with the sickness is quite challenging on these trades, honestly. Like, to be perfectly honest, we've got double Mario candles here. the bid here. I'm gonna reduce my sell order just 2 ticks. I'm just switching to 1 tick, honestly, because I haven't surpassed it. There we go. We got that 1 tick trade. It looks like it might continue to push up, but it hasn't yet. It actually popped down.
Stop filled. Order filled.
Okay, got a tiny little move to the upside there. Just taking like 1 tick trades, honestly. So I made a micro amount back right there. And falling down. Alright, from 3.1 to 3.1, leveling off on the TTM3. May take a short off of 84. The answer's short off 84, and I'm looking for a move down to 83. But I may have to cut this quick because we're actually getting a cyan 3 minute. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this. Let's see, 3.1 to, yeah, I'm out. 3.1 to 3.5 on the TTM3. That's looking like we're gonna get another push up. Our trailing max is at 50 bucks. We have like literally like hardly any room for error here. So we have to trade perfect in our evaluation from here on out for a little while. And I wish I could take larger trades, but literally 1 tick could kick me out. So so I have to trade super hyper small. From 3.3 to 3.5 on the TTM3 here at 840. So we do have a new 5-minute candle. Let's check that. You can see that we have a new flag forming up here at the top of this resistance. And oops, back some. TTM on 5 going from 6.5 to 6.2 to 6.0. So very, very gradual leveling off, but not much. We may actually pop again and go up to like 40.90, which would be like 20 ticks. I'm gonna look for an entry here off of 85 for a potentially risky move up to 90. But I'm taking that based off of this gradual leveling off here on the TTM. Coming up to, let's see, 842, so we should have a new 3-minute candle here in just a moment. Currently at about break even in this trade. 3-minute candle looking like 3.3 to 3.5. Our new one should be here any second now. 25 seconds.
till we get our new 3-minute candle. We are pulling back off this. Like I said, I thought it was a kind of a riskier trade, but I'm willing to take this risk, mainly because we're up 2,700 currently on the day. Our peak of the day, I think, was 3,250. I want to see this end with cyan and the new one open cyan with a green dot, which is exactly what happened. 3.3 to 3.3 to 3.7, so that's looking good. I'd like to join the bid there. I missed the entry. Whoops.
Order filled. Order filled.
Just took a random loss by accident because I accidentally entered twice. I tried to cut something that I entered, so literally we just took a 1 tick down trade for no good reasons. But we are popping up, which is exactly what I was expecting to happen. I just executed it improperly. Join the bid
Order
here.
filled.
Just looking for a micro move up. We may get booted out of this position. I really hope that we don't, but we are so close to our trailing drawdown that it is not funny at all. We're super hyper close to it. If we cut it, then we'll fail. If it drops down,
Order filled.
there we go. We just failed. It's okay. I'm really not worried about it. I have another evaluation, and honestly, I think this is going to continue to pop up. I do have another evaluation though that was supposed to reset today, so I just need to figure out what's going on with that, why it didn't reset. Took that trade off for $50 profit. So not bad in the sim side today. Definitely the evaluation over the last few days has been a real big challenge, but it's okay. We do have a new evaluation that reset today. We have another one. Our 50K one was set to reset on Friday anyway, so I'm really not worried about it at all. But I do need to check with Elite Trader Funding and see what's going on with our eval for the day for our 100K account. By the way, guys, if you do want to earn funding in the futures market, guys, make sure you do check out Elite Trader Funding. These guys are great. They do have awesome customer service. One of the things I really like about them, one of the things I really look for in a company. And you can earn funding from 10K all the way up to 300,000. The one-step evaluations are probably the most popular these days, just because it's not something that you find at most prop firms. You only need to trade for 5 days, and the profit targets are pretty reasonable. There's also the 100K static evaluation. This is the other account that I use, which has a profit target of 2,000, but it does only allow me to take 2 contracts. And it does have a drawdown of 625. No trailing drawdown, though, just a flat 625, which is really easy to understand. So that's one thing I like about that one. There's the end of the day drawdowns, which are more like what you find at traditional prop firms, and then the fast tracks, which are very I've only seen these here. Basically, they have a minimum and a maximum to trade, and you have to fulfill it within 14 calendar days. So, but yeah, guys, check these guys out. Use the link in the description though, and the promo code JSBest. Number one, it does help support the channel. It does offer us a commission, which is great. Because that allows us to grow and make more videos and more streams, but also it gives you guys a discount too that locks it in for life, so it allows for really just a mutual benefit on all sides. So ETF wins, you win, I win. It's a win-win-win all the way around, and if it's not a win-win-win, it's a lose-lose-lose. In my opinion, I think everybody needs to win in order to have any deal or any transaction be worthwhile. That's my own personal philosophy on business and entrepreneurship and sales and marketing and any of that other stuff. We are pulling back now off of this. So this is really kind of a move that I've been waiting for a long time. Frankly, I really just want to see this whole thing just drop down. I want to see it fall all the way down to 75. Like I don't want it to be up at these highs. Um, I know a lot of traders like that might be a hot take for a lot of traders. Like a lot of them are just like to the moon, you know. But frankly, it's just easier to trade in a range, which is one of the reasons why we were up $2,000 at the beginning of the day. Is because we were trading the overnight session. You could see that it was just trading in a range. That's all it did. It was super easy. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about trading. Like, I think that there's a lot of hype and sensationalism about buying near the highs and like expecting it to rocket up to the moon. I think that's a lot of sensationalism, and frankly, I think that it's much more realistic to trade within the ranges. But we have to trade the market that we're in, and if we're trading near the highs, it's we assume the risk that is associated with trading near the highs. From 5.7 to 4.9 on the TTM 5-minute chart. Pretty pretty heavy pullback off that 85, pulling down now to 81. I may go ahead and shut the stream down there, guys, because I'm having a hard time with the voice and the sickness and everything like that, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for the day. Probably go take care of my wife and myself, since we're both very sick. But I want to thank you guys for being here. And if you guys wouldn't mind joining in our Discord group where I'm about to post our results on the day. And I will happily see you guys there momentarily, Optimus. So join the link in the description. They'll take you over to the Discord group. You guys can join on in there. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. It does help this community grow, helps everybody here grow, and we share a lot of ideas inside of our Discord group. So we'd love to have you guys in there. Come contribute to the conversation, learn some stuff, share some of your knowledge, your wisdom. We'd love to have you there. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here and take care of myself. I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, 10:30 Eastern time. And much love and appreciation, and stay safe out there. Peace.